What is up? How y'all doing? Last minute betting with us. Bob, Mike, Justin, we got your quick fix for sports betting. Right. Even my last minute betting show has a little tagline on there. Brought to you by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company with sports bettors everywhere. We already got a load of people in here, folks. Like this show, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Got to tell you, man, another anytime touchdown score in my video, in our majestic morsels. The picks, they're on BetBucket. 7-day free trial. Use the code Nutz 25 for $25 off your first month. And if you want the morsels, they're $25 a month, Justin. I'm giving you a $15 code. You can have my morsels for $10 for a whole month. Is that not worth it or what? I mean, I've already hit 3 parlays. We've hit 2 anytime touchdown scores. No, 3 anytime touchdown scores so far in that. And we're only putting a half a unit on that. So what do you think, Justin? Is that a good strategy?
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Well, thank you. I expect a little more detail than that. Week 1 is over, folks. PhD, how you doing? Scotty Cobe, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you as always. He was active in the Discord today. Discord keeps on getting bigger, and more people are looking to hear what we say. Yes, he put it in the Discord. He's got his parlay with a bonus bet. So if you are part of the Discord, the Sports Nuts Discord, go in there now and check it out. If you're not part of the Sports Nuts Discord, you know what you can do. There's a link below in the description here on YouTube. So Monday Night Football, week 1 is over. Hell of a pass to Lazard. You know, saw some of the magic there of Aaron Rodgers of old. But then we see that Aaron Rodgers looked a little old at times. And you know what? You can attribute some of that to the fact that, you know, we don't have enough training camp. These guys aren't playing, you know, as much as they used to, you know, in preseason. But I'm going to just call you both out on this. My boy Brock Purdy, looking pretty damn good. You know, that boy is an accurate passer. And I retweeted or reposted something on X last night from Kurt Warner. Mike, you're shaking your head. Hall of Fame quarterback saying, why are people on Brock? This was before the game. He could not understand why people were on Brock Purdy's butt at all. I mean, why would you be? The guy throws a very good ball. He's a good quarterback.
I disagree. There was plenty of times, even yesterday, where I saw missed throws left and right.
I counted 5 drops too. He had 10 incompletions. That means 5 bad throws. Whoop-de-friggin'-do. That's 1/6 of the throws that you had. I'm not
talking about the drops. I'm talking about, like, he literally missed Debo. He missed a Debo touchdown, or 2 of them actually, and plenty others that I can recall.
They don't have their timing down. How many people can throw that ball over the middle like he does? You tell me how many.
A lot of guys.
A lot of guys.
Name one that throws it that good, because I'm going to tell you.
CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
The spot where the guy's supposed to be.
A lot of guys do that, Bob. You act like Brock Purdy's the only guy that can do that. I don't know what you're thinking or what you're smoking.
Kurt Warner thinks that people like you guys, he thinks you're nuts. So to Kurt Warner, he breaks down the film every friggin' day. This guy is on film all the time. You talk to him, you tell him.
And there's other guys who do the same thing, and they have the same opinions as us. So that's
him
fine.
And Mark Messier. Him and Mark Messier said you guys.
Indiana -3.5 over UCLA this weekend. Ooh, That's interesting, Scott. Don't really know enough about UCLA right now, to be honest with you, to have a feel on them. I would have to initially say I would lean towards that, but yeah. And agree with, no CMC this weekend. Jordan Mason, who had a great game. I mean, let's face it, that is what you can talk about. Brock Purdy all you want. Mason's ability to run up the middle on that Jets defense was big for them. I mean, that made everything, click. I mean, you were put in a lot of favorable situations for Brock Purdy, 3rd and short, 2nd and short, oftentimes. I mean, that was a big game for Jordan Mason.
I think what you should be worried about if you're a Jets fan, you better be worried. Bullshit.
PhD, you're not too far off there, bro.
Yeah, he's not too far off.
No, he's not too far off, man. I mean, all right.
You just better hope the Niners don't win a Super Bowl, guys. I'm just saying, because you'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah, I'll eat crow. If they win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Nice, Mr. Heat. Nice. I appreciate you coming on last night as well, Eric. That was awesome.
Yeah,
appreciate that. We got some Tom Brady. Tom Brady mentioned it this week on his podcast.
I didn't even listen to Tom Brady, and I knew that. So, hey, I must be goated.
It must be goated, yeah. Well, I don't understand what you really see in Brock Purdy, to be honest. Like, were you saying the same things about Jimmy Garoppolo when he was with the Niners?
No, because I don't think Jimmy was that accurate of a passer. I really thought Brock is I think he throws that ball over the middle as well as anybody in the league and hits guys in stride.
I don't know about that, man, but I will tell you this, though. When Jimmy Garoppolo stepped in for Trey Lance that one year and then got McCaffrey and had the same pieces Brock Purdy has right now, their stats are identical.
Okay.
And Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Raiders, and he's terrible.
I never heard Kurt Warner defend Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. He's defended Brock Purdy.
We can't just base our opinions on just.
I'll base my opinion on a Hall of Fame.
That's your problem. You get stuck on one analyst that says something that you agree with, and you think, well, they're right. There's no way they're wrong.
You know what? You get stuck on.
No one else does.
You get stuck on analysts, which are completely different and really bad, by the way. Not analysts. Josh Dobbs can do just as good as. Come on.
I mean, they're making great points and accurate points. I agree with them.
Go ahead and agree. But we're not. I didn't come on here for you to bash Brock some more, and I didn't come on here to bash Aaron Rodgers. I honestly think that at times he looked good, but I'm going to tell you right now, that offensive line of the Jets, and probably the most surprising thing to me, the defensive line of the Jets.
I actually have a whole thing about it. Honestly, by watching this game, it's all I could really hope for was Aaron Rodgers to stay on that field and to see him play and to at least show flashes of the old stuff, which he did, which is great. But I got to be honest, this Jets team, now that Rodgers is there, is looking like, they're dealing with the same kind of weaknesses as when he was in Green Bay. What was the weaknesses in Green Bay? He relied too much on one receiver or his running back. They had nobody else that was getting targeted or getting the ball enough. And the run defense was terrible.
Yeah.
So, you got a guy, Mike Williams, not in the lineup. Go figure. I mean, you're probably going to be, unfortunately, Mike Williams is probably going to be very inconsistent. Looked like a good pickup for them, but once again, not in the game. Conklin didn't look good. I mean, when Lazard is your leading receiver, no offense, you got some problems. Garrett Wilson had a great the one drive, the touchdown drive was outstanding. Garrett Wilson looked great. I mean, those two looked like they were clicking. The problem was they didn't get anything else after that. It was nothing.
Hey, before we go any further, guys, what do you guys think? You like my new haircut?
Yeah.
I don't even really notice. It looks like
Dude, it actually was in a ponytail. It actually came down to here, and I had it whacked off because my daughter said I looked like Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Scotty locked in a teaser, Wisconsin plus 22.5 against Alabama. Boy, that is an interesting bet. Colorado State plus 14.5. And
BC,
Boston
okay.
College. I like the Boston College one a lot. Man, that Wisconsin one, woo, it's pretty good. All right. Wear a smaller uniform.
That's BC definitely. You parlaying those? Yes, he is.
Okay. So
I agree, Scott. I didn't like that uniform. Garrett Wilson, it looked big, looked baggy, you know.
I didn't really notice, to be
I
honest.
did. I actually did. I noticed that his jersey. He did. It looked like a big uniform.
I want to know one thing, guys. Why is Garrett Wilson in the game at the end? I mean, why are you doing that? You took your quarterback out. Take your number one wide receiver out. You took your number one running back out. Just get him out of the game. Game's over. Let them. You got to get it past it at some point in time. Garrett Wilson could have gotten hurt, and then their season's really screwed. Justin, what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know as to why. To be honest, I did not watch when Tyrod Taylor stepped in, but yeah, probably should take him out too if you're taking Hall and Rodgers out.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And, I think the coach is too worried about running up and down steps at the stadium than he is about coaching his team. He needs to get his act together, okay? Because I thought he was going to be a really good
they really didn't make any adjustments. I mean, that was the bad thing is second half. I mean, you knew what the Niners were doing to you, and there was really no adjustments made to slow down the run with Mason at all. I mean, they just continued to run right up the middle, and the 49ers were dominating up front on both sides of the ball. On both sides of the ball, they were dominant. And the Jets, for as good as they were last year defensively, and in that big win against Buffalo, we didn't expect to win. They didn't have that same grit and fight that they. I don't know if they got. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they thought Rodgers was just gonna, lead them down the field and score points every possession, but they really didn't help themselves at all. And San Francisco dominating time of possession, which when you run the football like that, that's going to happen.
So let me shift to a game from Sunday and a team that you both are very fond of, okay? And that's the Chargers. And there's a reason that I want to touch on this, okay? One thing I heard from you, Mike, before the season started. Well, look who they got. They got Dobbins. I mean, you were bitching about him, okay? I told you, and you got to listen to me. I watched Jim Harbaugh play quarterback. I've seen him his whole career. The one thing he's going to do is he's going to build a running game, okay? And you're going to have an offensive line that blocks, okay? And if you do, a guy like Jake Dobbins, he can get some yards, okay? Maybe he's not, he's not Breece Hall, okay? He's not Christian McCaffrey. But you know what? 10 carries for 135 yards and a TD, by golly, that's pretty darn good.
Well, go
ahead.
Let me slow you down because let's start at this. Number one, he had a 61-yard run. That was a lot of, that was a big game there.
Okay.
And
take away that.
Let me finish. Can I finish though? Can I finish?
That's you will in a second. That's 74 yards less. What's 74 divided by 9?
Okay.
That's over 8 yards a carry without the run. Thank you.
Okay. Let me also point out the Raiders last year were pretty bad against the run, and that continues to be the story. They're They're going to give up yards on the ground. They're going to give up touchdowns. They're going to get beat up by teams running the football. No doubt about it. Dobbins and Edwards, two good backs, not great, but how long can they stay healthy? That's a concern as well. And then let's point out the fact that the Raiders just aren't that great of a team. You won 22-10, but it's not as if you were blowing the doors off of them and pulling away with that game. The fourth quarter, that's where you ended up, winning the game. And the Raiders just aren't a good team. They have no quarterback. And, that's pretty well sums up that game, truthfully.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell you what, Bob, if J.K. Dobbins can do half of that against the Pittsburgh Steelers, then I'll give it to you. Then I'll give that to you. But until then, I'm not buying it still.
You mean the T.J. Watts?
Yeah.
The T.J. Watts? Yeah.
Here's the thing for the Chargers. They've got the Panthers coming up, and they better not. If there was ever a team that was known to screw up and slip up, this would be them. This would be their spot. You cannot lose to Carolina.
They're not a team. The Chargers don't usually start off well anyway. So,
no, but it's there for them too right now. I mean, the Raiders and Panthers out the gate.
He knows it. I'm telling you right now.
All three of those teams are games that if you need to win all three of those games if you're the Chargers.
I heard Dobbins talk after the game, and I'm telling you, he said these players love playing for Harbaugh. And Dobbins said he loved playing for his brother. It's almost like a seamless transition for him. I think you guys maybe be underestimating what this team can do. They can be better than what you think. It's just my opinion. I'm not a Chargers fan.
Believe it when I see it, though. I mean, I can't buy into anything, especially a Week 1 win against the Raiders.
All right.
Can't buy into anything yet.
Who's the first coach to be fired? Brian DeBoer or old Robert from the Jets?
Well, it won't be Robert Saleh. So if it's one of the two, it's Daboll.
Yeah, Daboll will probably go.
Why don't you think Saleh?
Well, first of all, it's Week 1, and second of all, Robert Saleh has actually done pretty good coaching this team. If you really think about it, he's just had a lot of bad luck, and this is one of the problems though with having a quarterback that had his Achilles teared is you had no time to get your chemistry together. It's starting right now, So
I thought him and Garrett Wilson had that chemistry from highlights I'd seen from training camp. And if you look at the one drive, why are you not doing that more often?
But you need more than that. You need game reps. You don't get game reps in the offseason.
I know. I agree. Yeah.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers, went to the Saints the first week, got his butt kicked by the Saints. They won the Super Bowl that year. And they looked kind of in the mud the whole season, but then, bam, they got it clicking. So just if they lose to the Titans, then panic meter is through the roof. Or even the Patriots. Panic meter sky high, but let's see what happens against the Titans.
Well, that's PhD's team, and I'm wondering how he feels about that with the Titans. I mean, they shouldn't have lost the game that they lost. Talk about there's no way they should have lost that game.
No, but they did. They fumbled it.
Yep.
They're not good.
And a terrible pick six.
Will Levis is not a good quarterback. I don't even know why.
I agree.
They have him on there, to be honest with you.
I don't either. They couldn't find anybody better than him?
Well, it was either him or Malik Willis, who they gave to the Packers.
PhD, no comment. You don't want to talk about it yet.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. Yeah. I mean, No, I think the Jets will be fine. I mean, the 49ers definitely looked pretty ready to go. They had the one drive, and that was really it. And even on that drive, they still made the Jets go how many play. I mean, it's not like the Jets were just slicing and dicing them up. There was a lot of third down conversions that they converted, a lot of third and longs. So the 49ers really, it wasn't a terrible, I mean, that was the only drive that they gave up, the touchdown other than the one at the end, but and then the Lazard one, obviously, but I mean, that was the ball game. Let's face it. The fact that they were able to keep the Jets from scoring and they built a double-digit lead and they kept building it. It was like, yeah, I mean, you knew the Jets were going to come back eventually and score. But by that point, 23-7, and then they make it 23-14 or 13, whatever, 26-13 and one. I mean, it was over.
I'm hoping we run it down their throats. About all I got. We do have a decent defense. We haven't allowed an offensive score. All right. I got to go to week one leaders, guys. Something that I'm going to try to do every Tuesday. Yes. I want to look at what happened this weekend. Tua with 338 yards, the number one quarterback, followed by Matthew Stafford, Mahomes, Baker Mayfield with 4 touchdown passes. Mike, you touched on this yesterday, how good he played. And let's not forget Jalen Hurts. The rushing leaders, Joe Mixon. Woo! Way to go, Joe. 159 yards. Jordan Mason. What a we already talked about him. Great. We talked about Dobbins. Man, I'm 2 for 2 right there. Lamar Jackson and Ramondre Stevenson. I got to give a shout out to Tristan on this one. In the receivers, Jaden Reed. He was all over him. He called it. Watch out for him. He was right, man. Kid's got some speed. Tyreek Hill, of course. Alec Pierce from Indianapolis. Jamison Williams. He's going to be quite a weapon. And A.J. Brown. And then finally, the defensive leaders. This is in total tackles and assists combined. Zach Bond from the Eagles, TJ Edwards from the Bears, Nick Cross from Indianapolis, Alec Anzalone from Detroit, and Julian Blackman from Indianapolis. So Indianapolis has evidently some pretty decent stats, but they lose the game. What do you guys think about that team? Are they going to be any good this year at all? Are they playing for last place?
Oh no, I think people are sleeping on the Colts. I think Richardson's a great quarterback, or gonna be great. We'll see how that transitions. And I'd say the Colts are gonna be back to being like an underrated kind of team. Can upset you at any moment.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Mike, you
yeah, I know they're not a last place team. I don't think they finished last in this division at all. And as a matter of fact, it's more likely that they finish in second place in this division than it is last place. I mean, there's, I think they could end up being better than Jacksonville, truthfully. I don't think Jacksonville's, I'm not sold on them. I'm not sure about them. I think I would lean towards Indianapolis being a little better than Jacksonville even. So, yeah, they'll be a good team, a playoff team. I don't think 2 teams out of that division are going to get in, though. I just don't see it. Not unless there is, somebody somewhere's got to. I mean, Cincinnati, do they fall apart? The Jets or the Bills, Dolphins, 3 teams in that division. Somebody there's got to fall apart and not, Otherwise, they probably miss out in the hunt. Yeah, I think they're in the hunt. I think they're in the hunt for a playoff spot, and maybe they do end up, backdooring their way in.
I want to go back to the Jaguars for a second. We've brought up this overrated, underrated, those 2 words. I think Trevor Lawrence is overpaid.
Yeah, he's proving to me that he's overrated and overpaid. I don't understand what the hell went wrong with this team. I mean, last season I freaking picked them to go to the Super Bowl. Man, was that wrong?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe you were a jinx.
I guess. I don't know. I believed in this team all the way through, and I thought this team could break out, but they've done the exact opposite, in my opinion.
I know, and they do have some weapons, you know.
They do. I mean, they do. They do have some weapons. I mean, but you look at the games that some of those weapons had. You know, Ingram, 1 catch for 5 yards. That's not going to get it done.
No.
Christian Kirk, just the 1 reception, 30 yards. That was it. Gabe Davis, he had their leading receiver, 62 yards, 3 catches. That was it was a very quiet day for them, and they really couldn't get the running game going as much as they'd like to.
PhD's all over this, guys. No one is overpaid more than Daniel Jones.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Right there.
We can all agree on that.
Yeah. I'm just, I don't know. There's just something about that. First off, I was never a big Evan Ingram guy anyway. And then when, from his days with the Giants, then he goes to the Jaguars and has a hell of a season with them. Yeah. So I'm thinking, man, these guys got some real big chemistry going on here. This is going to be pretty impressive. And then if you look at what happened in the playoff game that they came back and beat your Chargers, I don't want to bring that up, but
it's all right. We're past it now.
Okay. You guys
past that.
Sure you no more nightmares?
No, I mean, it was no shock when it happened, to be honest with you. You've seen
it was too.
I didn't. I don't know, man. I've seen it all with this team, bro. I'm not shocked anymore.
You know how Mike watches Chargers games?
How?
First play of the game.
It's over. Yeah. Well, I mean, you get the feeling that way sometimes. I mean, it's like, well, especially when going into the game, all right, they got to stop this guy. They can't let this happen, and they got a chance. And then the first play, a guy gets a 60-yard catch or a 50-yard. You're like, oh, well, not off to a great start here. The guy they needed to not get going. They've already. I mean, they're known for that. They're known to let teams' big stars and their big players always have big games against the Chargers. Always.
Right.
Always. I mean, look at the game Adrian Peterson had against them. Running. What he rushed for 200+ yards against them. You know, I mean, every time they play, teams' star players, they eat. Look at how bad Tyreek Hill killed us.
You guys,
all those years.
You guys mind if I run down a top 10 real quick in fantasy points this weekend? It's real quick. Saquon Barkley, 31.2. Josh Allen, 31.2. Baker Mayfield, 29.7. Jaden Reed, 29.1. Jaden Daniels, 28.2. Man, I thought they were going to do better than what they do. Anthony Richardson, 27.1. And then a couple of kickers tied at 26. Jake Moody from the Niners and Boswell from Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson, 25.1. And the Chicago Bears defense rounds out the top 10 with 24. Wow.
Well, yeah, defense and special teams, I mean, is what that came into play there for the Bears big time.
Yeah, big time. All right, Mike, you got any positive EV plays tonight? Or
yeah, there's some out here right now, continuing to try to build a decent month here. We'll go to the dashboard here real quick. We had a good Sunday. A bad Sunday, a good Monday, I should have said. Last night was good. A lot of the player props that we were on came through pretty well. So off to a decent start there. Sunday, a little rough, but that's all right. Yeah, I mean, you can see here, I've got Atlanta Dream under 74.5 team total tonight against Minnesota. I like that. I think Minnesota holds them under that number. First 3 innings, Rangers D-backs over 2.5. I'm on that. I'm on McBride under 13.5 points tonight. I'm on a Nerfy in the Braves Nationals game. Lopez and Gore on the mound. I think we can roll with that. Could be a sweat, but we went on ahead and went with it. There was another Nerfy that I had added.
Yep, you just passed it up.
No, right here. It's Orioles Red Sox. I rolled with it. Dicey. It's dicey, I know.
Eric says, Mr. Heat says, Nats for the upset.
Nats for the upset. Yeah. I mean, if there was ever yeah. Why not? I mean, you got a guy. Gore's not a bad pitcher, dude. I mean, Mackenzie Gore's a decent pitcher. He's young still. I mean, his record's 8-11. I know that, but he's on a pretty bad team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's 150 strikeouts. So I mean, he's a guy that can, he can strike guys out, and that's what we're hoping for a Nerfy. Is we're hoping that he's on. Yeah, and then a couple other first 3 inning totals. Padres Mariners went with that one. Again, it's a market that's been pretty good and kind. So we're going to continue to go with that. There's that Nationals Braves Nerfy. Let me refresh and see if anything new pops up that we want. And it doesn't look like anything is. Now, one thing we should do, because my date range is just for today, let's change our date range. And let's see if there's anything in the NFL that pops up that we would want to get in on early. First place showing up there. Under 22.5. First half total. Bengals, Chiefs. I think I'll stay away from that one.
Yeah. Would too.
I'll stay away from that one. This one I think is decent. Jets over 2.5 touchdowns. Justin, why not, right?
Yeah, I think this is a get right spot for the Jets to show the world who they are. So yeah, I think even if they underachieve, they can still hit that, I think.
Well, they did have 3 total touchdowns against San Fran, even in a game where they weren't really that great. They still ended the game with 3 total touchdowns. I know Tyrod Taylor gave them the garbage time one, but still, you'd like to think that that's probably pretty solid. That's on Hard Rock. I'm definitely going to lock that one in.
Well, the Titans defense, we'll see what happens.
No, I think the Jets can score. I think they can score there.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see if there's anything else in the NFL.
Do they have a good enough tight end, guys?
Who, the
Jets? I don't know.
Well, like I said, they don't really have a number 2 option right now. That's like, what Rodgers was dealing with in Green Bay. That's my worry. It's one of my biggest worries.
They got to run between the tackles well, too, man.
Yeah. Here's another one. Same market. Total touchdowns. Buffalo, Miami, over 2.5.
Oh, hell yeah.
Book it, right? This has got over City written all over it, I think. I think we'll see some points, plenty of touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer on Hard Rock.
Eric's got the Jets-Titans game, the over 7.5 in the first quarter. Looks good for an EV play.
Nice.
Plus 124 in FanDuel.
Oh, nice. I got to be honest with you. I think this one might be pretty solid too. Dallas over 13.5 first half team total. I mean, I'd like to think they get some points here on New Orleans. New Orleans only test so far as Carolina. Dallas did, put up some points against a Cleveland defense that definitely kind of underperformed. But, I mean, you got to think Dallas had 13 points in that second quarter alone. They had 20 points in the first half against Cleveland. If they had 20 points against Cleveland in the first half, very good chance they're going to get 14 plus.
PhD's laddering the Chiefs spread. Bengals are boo-boo. All right. Stephen Batson wants last-minute locks, Mike. So let me take over here because we're going to go through a couple things. Real quick here. All right.
Okay.
Where you want to go? You want to go to baseball or WNBA? I'm going to give you a lock right now here.
Okay.
If you want to put a parlay together with a lock, then put the Lynx as one of your legs. I don't care if it is minus 200. Put it in as a lock, and let's lock down a money line parlay. Let's go to MLB. You want me to give you some other locks? See what you guys think.
Yeah, I've got one or two that I could add if you wanted to.
All right, well, let me add the Phillies.
Okay.
Money line. All right. Go ahead. Throw something in there.
Yeah, give me the Yankees, man.
Okay.
Give me the Yankees.
All right. Anybody else? Justin, you see one out there? It can just be a money line, man. I don't care about run line. Guardians play the White Sox, Angels, Twins, Reds, Cardinals, Athletics, Astros, Rangers, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I'd go with the Guardians tonight. I think they should.
Oh yeah,
spank the White Sox.
This will be heavily juiced, I'm sure.
It's like minus 200. Yeah.
Okay, well then it's about as juiced up as my play was. As soon as it decides to transfer over here, take your time. There we go. Yeah, we'll do that. And let's just see where we're at here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 legs at plus 480 plus 473. Yeah, let's do that. That's in the EU, though. Let's put it in Illinois. All right. Now this will give us a better read. All right. So circa bet online, plus 470. That's not bad. Mr. Batsa, that ought to be a parlay that wins tonight, guys.
Should be good to go on that one.
Yep. All money lines.
Yep. Sounds good.
Let's do it again. Lynx money line in the WNBA, Phillies money line in MLB, Yankees money line in MLB, and the Guardians money line in MLB. That's a pretty good looking parlay, guys.
Yeah, I think we got a good chance to hit that.
Why don't you put a couple hundred on that, Justin?
Nah, not with. If I had more volume today, I would. But
no,
yeah,
the volume we're in British Columbia right now is terrible. I've actually never seen it this bad before. To be honest with you,
I know you keep saying that.
Must be. It is.
Yeah, it is rough over there. I've heard for sure.
Yeah, in more ways than one. All right, we're gonna get going here.
Jesus Christ.
5 units, Batsa says. 5 units on that parlay.
I know what you meant by that.
Yeah,
You're a sick person.
Me? That was you.
Yeah, exactly, Bob. You're the one bringing up stuff.
I love it though. All right, folks, have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm actually doing a coffee show tomorrow morning, and you will be back tomorrow night. Jabari will be on here. We'll have a good time. See you later. Peace.